think everybody should take that leap on themselves. At least some point in your life, you have to take a leap and yeah, run with it. See where it goes. And maybe it won't go anywhere, but if it does, look, 5.5 years later, here I am.
Hey, business builders. Today we are joined by Natalie Alfaro. Natalie is the founder of Peaceful Healing Massage and Bodywork. Natalie is here in my hometown of Schuylkill Haven. And back in 2019, she was driving by an open space, a place that was for rent. And she thought, wow, I think I could take my massage book of business and I could go there. I could start a business that would allow me to create exactly the experience that I want to create for people in my massage business. And then perhaps I can add a teammate or two and start to create a better environment for them as well. The thing I really love about Natalie is she's got great energy. She's enthusiastic. And fun fact, I've always, I love yoga, been into that, meditation. I've done cold water immersion. Of course, I do a lot of running. Massage is one of those things I just have not done. And I just haven't known anybody really who had a massage studio, but I have a cousin and an uncle who just swear by deep tissue massage and how much it relieves stress and gets, pent up knots and things out of their shoulders and increases flexibility and all that. So I went and I did book a session with Natalie probably about a month and a half ago. I have another one scheduled, and I did an episode with somebody who does facials and why facials are important for business builders, or why it's something you might explore, right? Not necessarily important, but y'all run hard. You got a lot going on. You're trying to balance a lot of things. And I think that, facials or yoga or massage are things that you can go and do, which are, it's actually proven, right? That is going to increase your capacity to think. It's going to clear your mind. And a lot of times the unsolvable problems become solvable when you have a bit of grounding and a little bit of space. So Natalie does talk about creating the relaxing environment for her clients as well. It's something that you could pursue if you're here local to me with Natalie, or you could look in your community for somebody who is a student of massage, a student of that modality of care for people, and go seek that out. So Natalie talks about how she ups her games, does continuous improvement and learning. And these are things as business builders that we can all do too. Take a look at the client experience, take a look at the details, take a look at what people are really receiving when they come work for us. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Go get them, business builder. Welcome to the Business Builder Way podcast, where we help business builders grow leadership skills and wisdom and stay grounded through hero stories. So let's get after it. So Natalie, you said that you didn't even know you were going to open a business until the month that you did. So when was that? Take us back.
So June 19th, this spot actually went up for rent, and I would drive by it to work every day. And I would tell myself, oh, like that would be a cute little space. But I wouldn't, I hesitated to check it out. And finally I was like, I'm just going to call. I'm just going to go see. And yeah, upon doing so, I really loved the landlords. I really loved this space. I thought it was exactly what I wanted to offer my clients. And so, yeah, in July, I kind of put forth the plan and gave my 2 weeks at my job and just did this and started opening in August of 2019.
And okay, so it's been 5.5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, time flies. And so you are I guess in your industry, you have to be licensed, like a licensed massage therapist and trained as like, how does that work? Tell us about the job, the technician part of the job, the work that you do that the business is built around.
Absolutely. So massage therapist, and I'm actually a licensed esthetician. So we do skincare here as well. Massage is licensed. You need every 2 years to renew 24 hours of continuing education, CPR, child abuse, and ethics every 2 years. Cosmetology and aesthetics, you really don't need updating, which I really wish they did do that kind of stuff. I do get continuing education in that in the skincare world. However, yeah, they don't require you to do all that. You just have to be licensed and do the whole schooling. So there's that. But yeah,
So can you tell me about your work before you started the business? Like, what do you love about massage? And it sounds like you already built up a kind of a group of clients that trusted you and were coming to you repeatedly, kind of repeat clients, right?
absolutely. Yeah. I love everything about massage. Really just because I get to be in very close contact with people. Uh, I hear and see things that some other people would never see on with other, like, it's just, I don't know. I like that connection with people. And that's why I like having this space because it's more small, more intimate. I actually get to like, communicate with my clients. I know about their life, they know about my life. Um, so yeah, massage is just something that I have loved basically forever. As a child, I massaged my family, and
Mhm.
I actually went to school for cosmetology and did the whole skincare thing and everything. However, I realized I don't really like hair, so that's why I went back to school for massage. And yeah, just I don't know, my love has just grown from there. So.
I had never had a massage, and I did uh, come to you and had a massage. I'm trying to remember, so, because I always think so. I had a Chelsea Cornelius is somebody who does skincare in Easton, and she's got a business where it's her and other. Um, how do you say that word for skincare? What do you
Oh, esthetician.
esthetician? I want to
Yeah,
say an esthetician, but I know that's not to be totally different, right?
that's okay. Yeah.
Um, that's anesthesiologist. So esthetician. So she does that type of work. We ended up spending time talking in the interview with her about why business builders, business owners, being that they're sometimes stressed out, why they would go and have a facial, for example. Like, she said, facials are not just for women, Wayne. Like they're for dudes too.
Oh, there.
And it's right. So in your world with massage, what I was trying to remember right now is it was a very like just relaxing experience, except when there's like a knot in my neck that I wasn't sure, like, is that supposed to be there when you're like working on that thing? But you said something. What I'm trying to remember, you said something. It had to do with like relaxing or like being in the moment. Do you recall, like, what is it that you tell people when you're starting a massage session?
Oh, I always tell everybody to take a few deep breaths, let yourself settle in, let your body relax. I say different things every time, but I always like to set the mood basically with the, slow down and let yourself actually be present.
Yeah.
It does help people come to the room basically because so many, even myself included, you like lay down to relax or enjoy a service and your mind just keeps going.
Yep. Right.
So it, calms down. Usually for me, it takes like a half hour to even like settle in and then like start to enjoy the massage. So that's why I like to start massages that way, just because it does allow the client to like, oh yeah, I am here. And I actually find that so many of my clients will actually tell me, oh, that thing that you said at the beginning, I just kept bringing it back in my head every time my
Yeah.
mind would wander. And so yeah, so that's yeah, I like that. But I like that. I got that from yoga, like because normally they start yoga classes like that.
Right.
But I like to take things from everywhere. I always say I'm a student continuously, um,
Yep.
and then incorporate it here. Whatever I like, whatever I think is going to benefit my clients, I'll add it. So yeah, that's why I kind of started doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it does matter. Like in coaching work or when I do group facilitation, some of the ground rules you say up front and the things you get people to agree to then can set the tone for everything else that happens. So it makes sense in your work that that would set the tone for the rest of the time that people are there. And I went like we all got this thing like phone that I'm holding up, right? That we got that as a distraction, and then yeah, our mind is constantly going and chattering. So the massage was really good. That's what I felt like. I've had that in yoga too. I've had it in yoga at the end of yoga when you're doing shavasana, that I've really felt like grounded, and there's just not a lot going on, and it's this amazing feeling of like, oh, like open space in your head, which I think we don't get a lot. And yeah, massage was like that when I was there. Now you just went to, was it Costa Rica? Is that where I saw that you had gone on a vacation? Do I have that right?
Yeah.
And so you took a little break from this business. So here you are, you're like 5.5 years in, you took a break. And I did see like you had a massage when you were there, right?
Oh yeah.
And I feel like I read about like, oh wow, it was really great to experience that for myself, right?
Ooh, yeah. Oh, I loved it. It was all of my clients have always said, "Oh, we've tried this at a resort and everything. They're never you. They're not you, but we've tried it." And Eric, I always tell people to go everywhere and try everything because you never know what you like until you experience other things. I loved the resort massage. She definitely wasn't me or Dana. But nonetheless, she was so good and the service was so amazing. And I was so relaxed afterwards that I was like, I'm always going to get one of these now.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. So back in so you're driving by, you have background, you love massage, you love that modality, you're a person who learns all the time and you take things and then bring it back. I got all that. And so you're driving by, you say, I think I'm going to go for it. Started out like, so what was that like? What was it like starting with this new practice? I imagine maybe you had to like renovate the building a little bit, make it the way you wanted it, and now you got to start establishing what like billing systems, or how do you take your own credit card and all that. So what was startup like, Natalie?
It was very interesting because, like I said, I didn't even think that I would be owning a business or running a small business myself. So I mean, it was interesting. It was definitely a learning curve. I mean, I know massage in and out. Actually,
Right.
where before I did multiple tasks. So I did front desk. I was assistant. I did massage. I cleaned the facility. So I already was doing so many of the motions already prior to opening this place that really, upon being in here, it was just, like payroll, taxes, things of that nature that I had to learn. POS systems, I feel like, are all the same. It's just basically who you choose. So that was, and they're all pretty user friendly, which is great for somebody like me because I'm not tech savvy. So it really, everything just worked out very well. We didn't renovate anything when I first came in here. The building was actually kind of set to what I wanted because it was just me at the time. However, throughout the 5.5 years we've been here, we've grown. So I've added another massage therapist on, and what was it, 2 years ago? I think we actually made another room. So instead of just having one huge room, we went to two rooms, just because we had the space to do so. So yeah, I find that we just keep growing because even at first, I didn't offer skincare services, even though I had the license to do so. I really just started with massage and then added that. So, yeah, throughout the years, I just keep growing and expanding. I would love to get another massage therapist on. So, yeah, it's all a learning process and a growing process, I feel like. So,
What was do you recall like what would you say was the biggest challenge in the early days? I know I'm going to ask you about. I know you went through a big challenging time because you opened in 2019, and it wasn't very long thereafter that you went through a period of really rough restrictions and not being supposed to be open or whatever. But in the very early days, do you recall like what was hard about it? What was difficult?
honestly, just getting like the paperwork and stuff, because like I said, the massage is like something I already did, and my clients, I didn't really even have to advertise. I just had to say, hey, I'm here now. And it was
Right.
just, so I mean, I think the biggest challenge was transitioning from being an employer or an employee somewhere to actually being like the owner and the person who does everything. But even that, shall we say, was a little bit easier for me, just because the girls, my
Yeah.
daughters, grown up, they were, getting out of high school. So everything for me just was like divine timing. So challenge, I don't really know. It was
That's
just a
good if you
challenge
can't.
basically.
That's good if you can't really recall. That's an okay thing. So then you did have, so then not very long after you opened though, then we did go through a challenging time, and I know that I can
Yeah,
remember like here you are trying to you have your rent to pay or whatever, and you're not having clients in, and so how did you get through that whole the COVID quarantine period of time?
very honestly, I'm a very good saver.
Yeah.
So I had a little bit of a cushion, a little bit of a buff, and just made it work because, yeah, I didn't qualify for like the whole unemployment thing or that stuff. So yeah, I really just used my savings, made it work, and yeah, was just thankful when we got to come back in.
Yeah, sure, no doubt. Now, I remember you started a small business owners group somewhere would have been maybe 2020, 2021, something like that. Are you still doing that?
Did not continue it just because that page actually got hacked. So I no longer had access to it anymore. So that kind of, yeah, went downhill. I would like to do something more. I do have an all women's group, actually, like small women, that we, talk to about different things or challenges that we're going through, or, if somebody likes the POS system better or any of that, we talk and discuss about those type things, but it's really small. It's basically just a bunch of girls that I know locally. So yeah,
That's awesome. So you have kind of your own little mini mastermind group.
yeah, kind of. Yeah, I like to think so.
Yeah. It can be lonely to do all this stuff completely by ourselves and not have other people around us who are also in it, right? It's kind of the whole basis of what I do in my work. So yeah. So you've added you have another massage therapist, and do you have are there growth plans you said about hiring another person?
I would like to bring on another person. We definitely have the clientele to fill their book. It's basically just finding somebody who fits the spot, basically, and who wants to do, basically their own thing. Because I don't like to be, boss owner type
Okay.
person. If need be, then yeah. However, I really appreciate somebody who likes to run their own show, and I'm just basically there as backup and to fill them in anything extra. So yeah, we do plan on growing. However, like I said, we just got to find that right person. So
Yeah, well, okay, yeah, and that's interesting. Some people really want to be like that's not that they want to be the boss, right? But they're happy to excited about building something where they know they're going to be training newer people, they're going to have to do a lot of coaching and hands-on. And it sounds like you're pretty clear and comfortable, like things are good the way they are, and if I could add somebody else that wants to work within my system or my way of doing this, great. And like I don't have to, is what I'm hearing.
right, yeah, basically.
But you said Dana is the other person that works on
Yeah,
your team?
I love Dana, my coworker. We've known each other since we were girls, so we work very
That's what I
well
thought.
together. We worked at our last place together for years. So yeah, we run like a well ran machine, basically.
Yeah. How did you, and so you started doing it yourself. When did you know that it was time to invite her in?
Actually, she came on shortly after opening, just Sundays, but she was in an office setting basically. However, always had her license to massage and decided, she just was going to take on an extra day with me, and that actually progressed to after COVID. She decided that I don't want to do the office job anymore. I just want to massage. So yeah, she came on here, and she's actually at a different place too, because like I said, when we first were open, we just had the one room. So we made that work for us. And then as soon as we added the second room, she actually came on more. So divine timing. That's just all I could say is my life is full of divine timing for everything.
Maybe all our lives are full of it. Maybe we don't pay attention like you do. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. So many people miss out on things that they're just not seeing. And it's very amazing right in front of us.
What what advice would you have for other people that are driving by a building and they're like, well, maybe I could go do that?
Do it. It's like the Nike commercial. Just do it. Because seriously, what do you have to lose? Like I said, had no confidence in myself at all. It actually took other people telling me, Natalie, like, you could do this. You are very good at what you do. You just have to learn the paperwork. You just have to learn, the business end of it. So yeah, it was basically just taking that leap and doing it. And I think everybody should take that leap on themselves at least some point in your life. You have to take a leap and yeah, run with it, see where it goes. And maybe it won't go anywhere, but if it does, look, 5.5 years later, here I am. So
So earlier when I asked you about how you start sessions and the words you say, this came up for me. And then when you're talking about, and this is personal experience, having been in your space too, but later on you were talking about continuous education, and you were talking about how you're a student and you go out and you pay attention, because then if you could bring things in, you'll do that because you can like share that with your clients. So what I feel like is you may have something to offer to people. Like, it feels like you really think about that client that's going to be on the massage table. Like, you from the time they walk in, like you're trying, it's peaceful healing, right? That's, I don't know how you chose that name. Maybe you can share that too, but it feels like you're trying to create the whole experience, and like the lighting, I remember those like sound machine when you were there, right? I think you had two of them. I feel like there was like two.
yeah, I have to. Yeah.
Yeah. So like you're like a very attentive to that client experience. And sometimes businesses aren't, right? Like, it's you can tell that sometimes they don't really think about that. So like, so tell me, like, how do you think about your clients? How do you think about them like walking through the door and experiencing an hour of the massage work?
Well, I have I'm a massage therapist that doesn't just practice what I do. I actually practice what I preach. So I have been going to spas and different massage places since I've started massaging, honestly. And like I said, I always take something from the different spas that I go to, or chiropractic offices, or just offices like this. I know what I like to come into. I don't like, the abundance of hairspray, and I don't like the many, many people. So yeah, I really just wanted to make it more intimate for the person, warm and cozy. That's why I like to have the fireplace out here, the snuggly chairs. I feel like every little thing sets the mood for everything. Even the music that you play, the sound machines, how comfy the bed is, if you have the bed warmer on. These are all things that I pay attention to as a customer myself. So it's all things that I like to incorporate in my business, just so that way clients feel as warm and as welcomed as I do when I go to places. So all growing,
Yeah.
all learning.
Yeah, I think that is pretty good kind of advice or something for everybody to think about is how they're experiencing other businesses that they're going into and what the customer might experience to kind of walk through that. I've got this group, so I've got the group of business owners, but then we have a group that we call the right-handers group. And the right-handers group are people who are the right hand to the owner. They're like, so a lot of times the founder is the visionary, the one who creates the vision, but the right-hander might be the COO, or it might be, I have a person who's a service department manager. They do a lot of the executing upon the plans and things. And in that group, listen to something called Masterclass, which you could find on Facebook. They often run ads for these master classes. And Masterclass is a variety, like we did one with Kevin Hart, the comedian, and we did one. I wanted to do the one Chris Jenner, because I feel like being the like Kardashians and all that have like done such a tremendous job of branding, and I don't buy not my products, but like they build an empire, right?
Yeah.
So we watched that, but we watched one with Richard Branson, is what I was going to say to you. We watched one with Richard Branson, and he was launching that business, launching literally to put people in outer space. And he described how he went on the first space flight with like a tablet so that he could be paying attention to, oh, I don't like this, or this felt good, or I like how we do this. So, the experience of going to outer space, that he was taking an inventory on it so that they could then tweak it and adjust it to make it better for, the follow-on space travelers.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, similar to what you're saying.
absolutely.
So just as we're kind of wrapping up, I'm thinking that two things that would be great to share that maybe is helpful for you too. So you'd like to find another person who would come work with you when it comes, or when there's what are your words?
Divine time.
Divine. Yeah, when there's divine timing. So maybe we can create divine timing sometimes by saying, this is who I'm looking for. This is who this person would be. So who are you looking for? Who are you? What are they like? How do they operate within your environment? Who would this be just a perfect place to work as a massage therapist?
Somebody else who loves the craft and what they do, is willing to grow with us and grow on their own too, basically. If I could just have another Dana, maybe. I don't know. Because it's just like I said, we just, I don't know, Wayne. This one's a hard one because I don't know myself. That's why I'm like kind of interested in meeting with you otherwise, as far as like business building, because I didn't think I would have this business. And now here I am 5.5 years later, and I'm like, well, where do I go from here? Do I just, keep having this and just my small thing? And I really just want to do small because I like small. Um, However, at the same time, I do want to grow. So that's kind of where I'm like, I don't know. I think I need some coaching in that department just because I'm not sure what the next step is. I like where
Well,
I'm now.
yeah,
However, like I said, it's just,
yeah.
I don't know, because I don't know what the perfect person would be. Like I said, besides, if I could just clone myself or Dana, it would be great.
Right. So I'll kind of answer the question about we'll play a little bit with the where might you go, but what I heard there was, yeah, somebody just like Dana, right? So but until we think about it and until we talk about it, it's hard to say what that is. And the beautiful thing is there's no need to be perfect when we're talking about who she is. We can play, right? Like it's that's it. It's like we're playing the game of life. There is no hard and fast rules. When you're building a business, it doesn't, it's not going to conform to somebody else's vision. It's yours.
Right.
So like when you think about Dana, if I could just clone Dana, okay, great. Well, what is it that you love about Dana?
She's always here. She has a great work ethic. She's great with her clients. She always read books. She's good at her craft too. Like it's not like she comes in and, just whips out a massage. She actually cares like I do about the client and their
Yep.
experience and how everything goes for them. So yeah, really just somebody who's like very, I don't know what words I want to use. Basically just, yeah, really wanting to show their client the relaxation and the calming atmosphere that they need. I want that person to be that calming atmosphere. However, I'm a nutcase, so there's that. Because my clients, they come in, they actually say like, "I don't know how you're quiet for a whole hour." I don't know how I'm quiet for a whole hour either, but we do it.
Uh,
So yeah, so you know,
so I don't know what you mean by nutcase, but I do know, like I know you like work out hard, you're into that, and you're high energy. And we get to know
yeah,
people by Facebook, but we don't necessarily know them completely. But I would say my impression is you're a person who does not hesitate to give their opinion nor engage with others,
right,
right? And
yeah,
say what and like just say it. And then if you got to clean it up, you clean it up later, but you might clean it up like this.
yes.
And at the same time, maybe doing massage and being quiet for an hour and focusing on somebody else. Maybe that's like the yin to the yang for you, right? Like,
It is.
yeah,
It it's the balance of Natalie. I
yeah, it's cool. I think that I stuff like that's really cool. Well, like, and what I heard you describing is she reads books, and like you, she can really think through the experience of the person. We never know exactly what somebody's experiencing, right?
everybody's
For
different.
sure.
Yeah,
But you're trying, like you're trying. You are trying, she is trying. And if you were to ask whoever this next person is, like, hey, tell me about the experience that clients have when they come to you. And if they pause and like, I'm not looking at you directly, right? Like I'm pausing and I'm thinking like the client experience, like, well, and if they can start talking through it as though like they see it in their mind, see it, feel it, that's what I get out of you.
yeah,
And then if they also think, well, and I read books and I try to understand, and I'm going to other practices so that I can experience it. That's like your person.
mhm,
And then if they can, you said hard worker, show up on their own, work ethic, not like if they have an appointment at 11 o'clock, they're going to be there. And you don't have to be concerned that the client goes, hey, the person I booked with isn't here. Yeah, that's your person. So you take some of what, I'll get you the recording, right? And you take some of what you described, and then that's what you like write that story out. Like, this is who I'm looking for, somebody like this. Then the other important part is to don't be humble in this case. Like, what would be in it for them, right? Like, be proud of working with you for the right person, right? Because the person that isn't a fit would probably like maybe hate it or whatever.
correct,
But for that right person, that they may be working in another business to where there's something going on in their head that they're like, this just isn't right. Like I'd like to get away from this. I don't want to have to, it's like, not that you don't want a complainer or a victim because that's not how you are, but they're like disgruntled, something isn't quite right, but you have just exactly the place for them to go where they would thrive. And so I had uh, somebody who helped me hire salespeople, Liz Fitch, said, you think about the financial compensation that folks are getting when they come in there, for sure. Like if they can't make money, like we all got to eat, all that kind of thing, right? But beyond that, it's the intellectual and the emotional compensation. And for the right person, they'll like connect with you and Dana, and they're going to learn. So intellectually, they're going to grow and they're going to be fed, and they're going to be like, wow, I'm so glad I'm here. And then emotionally, it's, oh, this is so much better than other setting I was in, and I can thrive here. So,
right.
like, what do you have to offer to the right person?
Oh, Wayne, this is a hard question. I'm not. See, these are things I don't think about because I'm not just like I don't know. I definitely think. I don't know. I don't know. These are all things I would have to think about, I guess. That's why,
Yeah.
like I said, I haven't really brought. I think we offer a really awesome atmosphere here. I think our clientele are amazing here. I do a completely fair share as far as pay. So there's that. Because basically, if you come here, you're just taking your business and coming into a facility that's already established, and yeah, you can grow with us or as an individual as yourself. Like Dana and I, we play off each other. So we share clients. We also give each other clients.
Mhm.
It's just that's how we work basically. So good team membership.
Mhm.
Good team
Mhm.
membership. Yeah. I Oh, like I said, those are all questions that I would have to, because I don't
Y-
even know why Dana was crazy enough to come on with me. This bitch is fucking nuts. But like I said, we work so well together and so good that it's just I don't know. I love her
Yeah.
and I thank her all the time for having faith in me and coming on with me and doing her business out of my business. And yeah, it just like I said, so what do I have to offer? An awesome space with amazing people that are willing to grow with you and help you grow, basically.
Yeah, no, that's great. All that is wonderful, and that's like every now and then I do one of these interviews where we do a bit of basically what the work is I do, and the work I do is to do that, like ask you the uncomfortable question and then get you to actually sit with it and think about it,
I
right?
know that's great. Yes.
Yeah, because you have the answers. I don't know. Like I know in a general sense how other people grow and how they have grown and the things that they run into, and I can share things like that, or I can share things about hiring and how you ask better questions when you're interviewing. But the reality is the dream, the vision is in you, right? Like you've got it. We just gotta like crack into it and open it up a bit. And that's what you were doing right there, which is fun. And for another day, when you start thinking about what might be next, again, I think the word play is really good. Like we're just gonna play. Like we're gonna play what could happen, what could we do, and you're not initially you don't, it's like when you were driving by the business or the vacant space and
Yeah.
looking at it, that's what you were doing. You were thinking, okay, like have I'd be in there and I'd take my clients from over there and move them over, and you can see this, but if anybody's listening to the recording, I'm moving my hands, right? Like I'm grabbing the clients and gonna move
Yeah.
over, and you did all that, so you already know this. It's now just playing in another with another set of rules or different constraints, right?
Yeah.
So you could think about, well, let's pretend I moved to a location that had 5 rooms, and maybe that's initially you think about that, and you're like, wow, this is too much. Like, I don't know that I'd want to do that. Or maybe you think, oh yeah, well, that could be, there could be 5 rooms, and there could be um, 4 other people like you who they love that you're like super into it, and I think you said fucking nuts like that. Yeah, like in that, in a good way, like fired up about what you're doing. And so that's how you play with it, is you just start going through, well, what if I did this, what would that look like? And the next time you get a massage, like you can clear all your thoughts, but maybe let that one operate in the subconscious or something. I don't know.
I, I have to think about that one in the mornings. I like to, yeah, no, that's good.
Nice. Well, fun. Anyway, um, who, but last thing, you talked about clientele, and different clients go to different businesses, right?
Oh,
So,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, so who are your people? Who are the ones that come in there that you love working with?
Oh, as far as my clients?
Yeah, yeah. Who comes to peaceful healing?
Oh my God, anybody and everybody. I love our clients. We have the absolute best clients, from like retired people to warehouse workers to, just a mom who needs to relax or, just we who comes here. All the most amazing people come here. That's who come here. Like they, yeah, we just yeah, I love our clients. We have the most amazing people. So yeah, there's not any one specific type, and I love that too. Like we even get the little kids. We have the older generation that's never even had a massage before, or even people like you who've never had. Those are always my favorites. But yeah, we have a wide variety of clientele. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, Natalie, it's been fun spending some time with you. It's been fun asking you some thought-provoking questions. And I really have enjoyed even right there when you got like kind of excited about our clients are the best and Lena is the best. Um, Thanks for sharing your energy and sharing a bit of the journey. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Yeah, thanks, Natalie. Thank you for tuning into the Business Builder Way podcast. If this episode spoke to you, click that subscribe button and share it with a friend. That's how this message gets out into the world. If it is helpful for us to have a short conversation, I'd love to do that. Send me an email at wayne@businessbuildercamp.com.